Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ramon. I'm gonna show you some movies again from my personal physical media collection. Movies that were released in the 1980s. First, friendly request. Would you be so kind to hit that like button? It's good for the algorithm. I hope you'll enjoy and that you will discover some new movies or rediscover some movies through my vids. Um, let's start with the first movie of today. This is Jackie Chan, Sammo Hung, and Jun Bio, the three dragons in their best film together, Dragons Forever, directed by Sammo Hung. This is another Hong Kong film, uh, a martial arts horror comedy hybrid, directed by Wu Ma, who also stars The Dead and the Deadly, and also Sammo Hung makes an appearance. This is Gus Van Sant's drama Drugstore Cowboy with Matt Dillon and Kelly Lynch. Great performance by Robin Williams in Peter Weir's Dead Poets Society. And after all those years, this one is still my favorite Spike Lee film, Do the Right Thing. And this is an amusing buddy cop flick with a twist. Stars Tweet Williams and Joe Piscopo, and also horror legend Vincent Price makes an appearance in Dead Heat. Next up is one of my favorite Charles Bronson films, one of my favorite Cannon produced films, and my favorite of the franchise, Death Wish 3, also starring Martin Balsam and Ed Lauder. And it's directed by Michael Winner, and it's very over the top, and I really enjoy this one. I also own part 4, Death Wish Part 4, The Crackdown. This one was directed by J. Lee Thompson. And this is a 4-pack, 4 Charles Bronson movies, Michael Winner's Death Wish 2 and 3, another copy of Death Wish 4, and Assassination, which is a movie that Charles Bronson did with Jill Ireland, and it was directed by Peter Hunt, who also did the film Death Hunt with Charles Bronson and Lee Marvin. This is a decent thriller starring Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan, Dead on Arrival, and it is a remake of a 1940s film noir directed by Rudolph Mattei. And that one stars Edmund O'Brien, DOA. One of my favorite Steve Martin comedies. Steve Martin, Michael Caine, and Glenn Hadley star, great trio in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels by Frank Oz. And another cheaply produced horror comedy that I like, The Deadly Spawn, directed by Douglas McHugh. This is a Blu-ray that came in a DVD case. It's Enzo Castellari's Day of the Cobra, starring Franco Nero and Sybil Danning. I also own the hit film Dirty Dancing with Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey. And this is one of my favorite Jim Jarmusch films with Tom Waits, Robert Benigni, and John Lurie, Down by Law. Another horror comedy that I like, directed by Stuart Gordon. This is Dolls. And this is the comedy Down and Out in Beverly Hills, starring Richard Dreyfuss, Bette Midler, and Nick Nolte, directed by Paul Mazursky. And it is a remake of a film that Jean Renoir, French director, did in the 1930s, Baudu Saved from Drowning. And this is a comedy about a group of friends living during the 1950s, filmed by Barry Levinson, Diner. This is a movie that was based on a television show, a great comedy with Dan Aykroyd and Tom Hanks, Dragnet. And this is the third sequel to The Dirty Dozen, made for television, all three of those sequels. But this is The Dirty Dozen, The Fatal Mission with Telly Savalas and Ernest Borgnine. Entertaining adventure thriller starring Kirstie Alley, Sidney Poitier, and Tom Berenger, Deadly Pursuit, also known as Shoot to Kill. And this is one of my favorite fantasy films of all time. Puppet animation directed by Jim Henson and Frank Oz. The Dark Crystal, the Dutch DVD. And also the Blu-ray is in my collection. A drama starring Dan Aykroyd, Morgan Freeman, and Jessica Tandy, Driving Miss Daisy. And this is an Italian horror film I really like, directed by Lamberto Bava, Demons, Demoni, with a great premise, people going to the theater and then they find out that the cinema is sealed off and evil is lurking in the dark and is out to get them. Great film. And this is the sequel, which isn't as good as the first one, but still great watch. And this one is set in an apartment building. This is a comedy satire on the weapon industry, directed by William Friedkin and starring Chevy Chase, deal of the century. And Peter MacNicol in the fantasy film Dragon Slayer, probably the greatest dragon ever put to celluloid with the help of practical effects and animatronics. And this little actor's name is Barrett Oliver. He was also in The Neverending Story, and this is another sci-fi movie he did, Daryl. Australian director Brian Trenchard Smith directed this film, A Dead End Drive-In, one of his best. And here we have John McTiernan's action classic Die Hard on Blu-ray. This is a Bruceploitation flick, The Dragon Snake Fist, starring Dragon Lee, with pretty good fight choreography, I have to say. The film was directed by Godfrey Ho. And this is a made-for-television film adaptation of Arthur Miller's play Death of a Salesman with Dustin Hoffman and John Malkovich. A movie that was based on a French novel, Les Liaisons Dangereuses. This is Dangerous Liaisons, directed by Stephen Frears. Milos Forman's Valmont is also an adaptation of that novel, and that is the movie that I prefer, Valmont. But this is still a good one. Comedy starring Roseanne Arquette and Madonna, Desperately Seeking Susan. One of two Dutch Criterions I own. This is Cronenberg's Death Ringers with Jeremy Irons. Then another Jackie Chan film. This is the Dutch DVD of Dragonlord, a film he also directed. And I also own a Hong Kong DVD with a slipcover. I always enjoyed this movie, even as a kid, especially the shuttle soccer match. Awesome scene. Colin Blakely as Mayor Pepone and Terence Hill as Don Camillo in the film Don Camillo. And then as Quaid entering Dreams of Other People in Dreamscape, also starring Max von Sydow. This is my favorite version of Dune, directed by David Lynch. And last but not least for today, Brian De Palma's take on the giallo, Dressed to Kill, with Michael Caine and Nancy Allen. I hope you enjoyed, guys, and tune in next time. Have a nice day.